There are some things that money just can't buy your way out of. So I don't know if some of y'all still be on X or whatever they call it, but I seen the post of this millionaire out in California where they having the devastating wildfires out there right now. He posted asking if there were any privatized firefighters that would be willing to come out and save his home among the many homes that are being devastated right now, and that he would pay whatever it takes.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, today's topic, a millionaire bold question about private firefighters that is setting the internet on fire. Yeah, you heard that right. Are there private firefighter companies I can hire to save my home from wildfires? I will pay any amount. Is this a legitimate request or just another tone-deaf moment from the ultra-rich? Either way, it's got people talking, and trust me, we are diving deep into the reactions today. But before we jump into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Trust me, you won't want to miss the conversation today. Alright, grab your popcorn because these are about to get heated. Let's get into it.
There are some things that money just can't buy your way out of. So I don't know if some of y'all still be on X or whatever they call it, but I seen the post of this millionaire out in California where they having the devastating wildfires out there right now. He posted asking if there were any privatized firefighters that would be willing to come out and save his home among the many homes that are being devastated right now, and that he would pay whatever it takes. Sir, I don't know how much you know about the fire service, but most places have trouble just getting up to the required staffing that they need to service the area that they are in. And where you live out in California, most of those wildland firefighters are inmates. Them not even free. They're not even like free citizens. Those are prisoners out there doing that work. It ain't even enough people that want to do that work. And then on your same profile page, you talking about cutting property taxes or finding a way to cheat or escape on your property taxes. The property taxes is what pay the county and the city firefighters you already got, and you trying not to even pay them. So how you supposed to believe that you willing to pay the privatized firefighters to come out there and save your home? Like I said, man, I'm not one to be like, you don't need no money. Everybody needs money, but at the end of the day, money can only take you so far in certain situations, and this one of them situations. Like I said, man, prayers to everybody who's out there. Hope everybody make it safe. If you haven't evacuated, please evacuate. But again, brother, money ain't gonna be able to save you from this one.
Steve Bannon is calling for Black and Hispanic families to form a coalition and help MAGA take down Elon Musk. Look, man, I'm going to say this. I, as a Black man, have been enjoying the back and forth that you guys have been having with Elon, because you guys are starting to understand what we were trying to explain to you for so many years. You didn't want to hear it from us because you were the ones doing it to us. Your community took every opportunity it could to harass Black and Hispanic communities. And you still do it now. You still do it now, even with this call for them to come together and form a coalition. You are gaslighting us to support your cause when we all know at the end of the day, you never want to release your position as the oppressor in this nation. You see, for the first time in a long time, your particular struggle has nothing to do with us. Your side of the fence, you know what I mean? Your far right side of the fence made it very clear that you never wanted to see us succeed. You never wanted to see us live among you in any type of way. So we are not coming to your defense now. I have absolutely no love for Elon Musk either, but if that man wants to fill his entire company up with immigrants on H-1B visas, I could care less. Take your complaints to the Orange Man. That is the person you need to be filing all of your complaints with. That's who you cast your vote for. That's who you worked with in the White House. That's who you've supported and pushed to become the leader of this free nation. Take your complaints to him. Black people will be opting to sit this one out. Okay. We will continue to build within our own communities and, find a way to adapt and prosper even in these dark times, because we have more than enough experience doing so. And you guys have made sure to keep us well versed and well trained to not only get through times like this, but find ways to succeed in times like this. But those are skills your community never took time to develop. All you ever did was focus on being the oppressors. All you ever did was focus on doing any and everything you could to hinder our progress, not because you were better, just because you were threatened by our existence. Well, now your existence is up for grabs, and it is on the chopping block by the people that you chose to throw your support behind. Okay? This is a decision. This is a situation. This is an entire scenario that you all need to handle on your own.
Kamala and Biden, we continue to get higher taxes.
Whose tax plan
That's
are
all
we
they've
currently
been
under
doing.
right now?
25% of my paycheck goes to the government.
Whose
I
tax
barely
plan are
making
we
any money.
currently under right now?
Biden and Kamala's, they've
No.
been passing.
We are under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act until January of 2025 when it expires. We are still under Trump's tax plan. So if you have an issue with your taxes currently, that should be brought up with Donald Trump, as we are under Donald Trump's tax plan.
Kamala tax plans.
We're not under Kamala's tax plan. We're not even under Biden's tax plan. Their tax plan wouldn't go into effect until 2025. So if you have an issue with your taxes, that's Donald Trump's fault.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if you know this. Donald Trump's tax plan was between 2018 and 2025.
I warned you. I told you. This is why you don't vote for Republicans to run anything. You don't want them running the House. You don't want them running the Senate. You certainly don't want them in the White House. And this is the exact reason why. They have no real interest in getting anything done. Not having the government funded means no checks for millions of people across the country. And it could be devastating. But right now, a lot of people voted for really, really rich people to get into the White House and get in position of power, and they don't care one bit. They've got tons of money. Nothing that they do affects them. It affects you. But yeah, you decided to let rich people decide your fate. And now you're about to find out what happens when you do that. Especially Republicans that don't care. Because they have billions and billions of dollars. If they cared about people, you would see them helping people every day. They would be going from city to city, establishing homes and networks for the homeless, to get rid of homelessness. These few billionaires that are in Washington right now could literally get rid of homelessness if they wanted to. They don't want to. What they want to do is make more money. And you that needs money and depends on money, it's just not that important. You effed around, and now you're going to find out. Like and follow for more.
Now, I don't know how long this will get out. This stitch right here will get out because I already posted and I didn't want to post back to back to back. But I want to make this point right here. This goes out to Steve Bannon, the MAGA supporters, the Trump supporters. I'm going to say this as Jamil, and I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anybody else when I tell you this. first and foremost, before I speak on myself, let me tell you what's going to happen. Just like that stitch and a bunch of other TikToks, Instagrams, Facebook, and social media posts out there from black and minorities, they are not going to help you. I don't even speak for them, but I know they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you. Okay? So, just like the title of the stitch, just like the caption of the stitch, rather, you can keep it. Because this is what you chose, this is what you campaigned for, and most importantly, this is what you've been saying for decades. Sorry. They won't help you. They're not going to help you. And in a lot of cases, they will never help you. Because they don't trust you, they won't trust you, and they're not going to give you any chance. And that's okay. That's the type of bed that you made. That's the type of hole that you dug yourself into. Now, me, I'll say this. And this is, once again, this is for you guys. The best apology for me is always going to be changed behavior. So if you can prove to me that you've abandoned those traits, I can always see the good. But I'm going to do it from afar. So, and it's a lot. I mean, Steve Bannon, if you really are upset about what MAGA did to you, you're going to have to do the work on your own. And hope that someone might give you a little bit of a chance. But you're going to have to prove to us that you want to take Elon and MAGA and Trump down. I'm sorry. They already told you this. They told you on election day and before then. You chose not to listen. You chose your own self-interest over this country. And you expect the people to help you? No, they're not going to. But if you're very serious, do it without their help. I am telling you guys this. If you're really upset about Elon or Trump, do it without their help. Because that is the best redemption story. Show, at least me. Like I said, I don't speak for the black people out there. I don't speak for minorities or any non-Trump voters out there. I'm only speaking for myself. But I'm telling you, if you want to at least convince me, you're going to have to do the work. Put yourself on that front line. Go up there. And the MAGA people too. You want to take them down? Join Steve Bannon. But don't call us. We already warned you. Just like I said in our last video about the Palestinians. Unless there's actual effort to be made for this country, don't call us.
Alright, let me start by saying that when I first came across the Millionaire's post asking about private firefighters companies, I genuinely thought it was a joke. A rich person, obviously concerned about wildfire destroying their property, asking if they can just hire their own firefighters and pay any amount. It honestly felt like something straight out of a satirical piece. But after diving deeper into the matter, I realized it raises some profound and very serious questions about the state of our public services, privilege, and what we are willing to accept as a society. First, let's break down the situation. We are talking about wildfires. These are natural disasters that, more than anything, highlights the importance of community, government, and public services. When fire season hits, it's not just the super rich whose homes are at risk, it's entire neighborhoods, entire towns, and even ecosystems. In California, Australia, and other areas prone to such disasters, Wildfires are not rare events, they are becoming part of our new reality, exacerbated by climate change. So the idea that one millionaire feels they need to hire a private firefighter service to protect their assets from a natural disaster just feels, I don't know, disconnected from the real world. I get that rich people live in mansions, gated communities, and often have assets worth millions. But when you have the much wealth, you can kind of start to forget about the struggles of the average person. To be clear, I don't think the millionaire was necessarily doing this out of malice. They probably were just looking for a solution to a real threat to their home. But here is where the issue gets complicated. It reveals a fundamental difference in how we approach disaster management. So let's talk about the concept of private firefighters. In the US, private firefighting companies do exist. For example, high net worth individuals, those who own a sprawling estate or remote communities, sometimes do hire private fire protection as part of their insurance coverage. This is often linked to a specialized services for properties that are too large or too isolated for local fire departments to reach quickly enough. It's not entirely unheard of, but it's not something that should become the norm either. Why? Because firefighters is a public service. It's a service that should be available to everyone, not just the people who can afford to pay for it. When we start allowing private companies to replace essential public services, we risk creating an even more unequal society. Let's think about this for a moment. If we allow rich people to essentially buy their way out of a natural disaster, what happens to everyone else? The middle-class lower-income families and those living in underserved communities could be left to fend for themselves while the wealthy can retreat behind their guiding gates, protected by private firefighters. It's a slippery slope that leads to a further division between those who have and those who don't. This could lead to a situation where public funds for firefighting and emergency services are further drained, and public safety becomes a luxury for the few, not a right for all. Public fighting, a lifeline for all. Now, I'm not saying private fighters don't have a place in certain circumstances. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, they can be useful for people with specific needs, but we can't let that be the main solution to wildfire management. We need to invest in the public services, firefighters, first responders, disaster relief. These services should be well funded and equipped to deal with natural disasters at the local, regional, and national levels. And we should be demanding more resources for these brave individuals who risk their lives every single day to keep us safe. It's not just about putting out fires, it's about disaster preparedness, managing response times, creating safer structures, and preventing the spread of flames in the first place. Look at what's happening around the world. Climate change is intensifying wildfires, flooding, and other natural disasters. We need to be thinking long term about how we tackle these issues. So when you have someone asking if they can just bypass the system and buy a private firefighter, it shows a disregard for the very real public health and safety challenges we are facing. More and more, we see the ultra-wealthy creating their own solutions while ignoring the systemic problems that need to be solved at a community and government levels. The truth is, if we want to protect everyone, not just the rich, we have to put pressure on local and national government to improve wildfire preparedness, fund fire department adequately, and ensure that people's homes, regardless of their income, are protected. I have been reading a lot of reactions to this millionaire's request, and they have been all over the place. Some people are laughing it off, sarcastically suggesting that the rich could just build their own private fire departments. Others are enraged, pointing out that this kind of thinking is exactly why society is so messed up in the first place. It's easy to see why people are upset. Wildfires don't care about your bank balance. They don't stop burning because you have a few extra zeros in your bank account. And honestly, to some, this millionaire question is a symbol of everything that is wrong with our current system. There are people struggling to make ends meet, living in homes without basic fire protection, and then there is someone looking to outsource their firefighting to the highest bidder. The disparity is just glaring. But there's also a sense of resignation in the reactions. Some people are simply fed up with this kind of entitlement. And I get it. We have seen a trend where the wildest people in society just continue to live in their own bubble, isolated from the challenges faced by everyday people. From private jet to private firefighters, is as if they think money can shield them from the worst problem. It's a dangerous mindset that leads to more inequality, less solidarity, and a society where the most vulnerable are left behind. So what do we do moving forward? First and foremost, we need to ensure that wildfire management and firefighting remain public services. The idea of private companies offering emergency services shouldn't be normalized. Second, we need to tackle the root causes of climate change and invest heavily in prevention and preparedness. This means funding local fire departments, creating safer building codes, increasing fire-resistant landscaping, and supporting education on fire safety in vulnerable areas. Finally, we need to recognize that everyone deserves access to safety, not just the people who can afford it. While it's true that the welders can sometimes contribute to innovation and funding for certain projects, it shouldn't come at the expenses of the public. We need to think about the collective good and role of that government, communities, and the private sector can play together to ensure that no one is left behind when disaster strikes. In conclusion, the Millionaire's request about private firefighters, while understandable in some ways, reveals the deep divides in our society. It is a call for us to rethink how we value public services and how we can better protect all communities regardless of wealth. Let's hope we can turn this conversation into something more meaningful, something that pushes for systemic change and more equitable solutions for everyone. So what do you think? Should the wealthy have the right to hire private firefighters, or should we focus on strengthening our public services to protect everyone? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And also, thank you for watching, and let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Let us share our thoughts and perspective with one another. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on this story and more. I will see you in the next video.